Hello and welcome to a special presentation from Main Event Boxing, because today we can not only confirm that Tszyu will shoot to become a two-time boxing world champion, we can tell you all of the details as well. I'm Ben Damon, joined by George Rose, and today we can tell you that October the 20th, a Sunday afternoon, that is the date. You'll see it all live on Main Event Television. This fight between Tszyu and the IBF Super Welterweight Champion of the world, Bakhram Murtazaliev, will take place in Orlando, Florida. George, that is all the news. Tell us your emotions, because there's been a lot of work to get to this point, but this is huge.
Yeah, look, I'm absolutely pumped about it. I think it's a great result for Tim, a great result for all of us. I mean, the timing of it is perfect. It's fresh off the back of footy season's finished. Just in a couple of weeks when you start getting itchy, you want to see some action. Tszyu is coming on the screens October 20 here in Australia, and his last performance, one of the most courageous performances we've seen from an Australian athlete, to lose his belt in them unfortunate circumstances. It wasn't his skill set that cost that him to lose the belts, but it was a freak accident, something you never see, and this is his chance to rectify it straight into a world title shot, straight into the IBF world title shot. I'm pumped. I can't wait to get to Orlando, and it's great that we're able to share this news now, so every one of Tszyu's fans can be able to book, get along, get there, pack out Orlando and let them know that the Australians are coming.
Yeah, plenty of Aussies, no doubt, in Orlando, but the whole country will stop and watch this on Main Event Television. You mentioned it's the perfect time, right off the back of footy season, the Bathurst 1000 the week before, and then we go straight into this huge event. The whole of the country will be watching.
Absolutely, and rightfully so. Like I said, you get to that point where you're aching for some action. You want to see some thrills. Tszyu is all thrills. Tszyu is all action. Tszyu is one of the most exciting athletes in Australia, and we all know that a Tszyu fight, everybody in the country gets behind it, and I can't wait till they're all actually tuning in here, and thankfully we've got it live on Main Event and KO Sports in Australia.
Thank you so much, George. You mentioned Tszyu there. Well, here he is. Tszyu now joins us live from Las Vegas. Tim, just hearing the energy and the excitement from George must get you even more pumped, but how do you feel about the fact that you now know for sure where and when you get this shot at becoming a two-time world champion?
Two-time.
Is the second one sweeter, do you think, than the first? The second one, do you think, will it be sweeter than the first? The fact that you've had to go through all this adversity, your story now has these extra chapters, and now you shoot for that belt again.
Yeah, I don't know, we'll see, but it's definitely a good story. And again, the comeback is always sweeter. So I'm in a different frame of mind, and it's exciting.
Tell us about that frame of mind, and tell us what you've been doing over there in Las Vegas, because, of course, we saw Nikita the other night in what was a really tricky fight for him, but he was talking about the levels that you've gone to and the sort of things that you're doing over there in Las Vegas at the moment.
Yeah, here is just the one percenters, I guess, and this camp for me reminds me of the Jeff Horn camp, and it's like a little, how could I say it? It's like a rejuvenation. A small team escaping home and just coming here and just solely focusing on what lies ahead. And I haven't been home for a long time. I've been home for like 6 weeks this year, so I haven't been home for much. So hopefully, well, not hopefully, everything will pay off in the end.
And the opponent we know is the champion, Bakhram Murtazaliev. You've had a bit of time now to get used to the idea that you will be facing him, and clearly he's someone who's been thereabouts for a long time. An undefeated fighter, a much avoided fighter. What are your thoughts on him as you get closer to this fight?
Yeah, the Soviet school is one of the best styles in the world. You know, I come from that type of background myself, growing up in a Russian household. So I know what he brings. I know the style that he is. It's tough, but it doesn't bother me. You know, I'm here to take my throne back.
And is it right that you've been chasing him, perhaps stalking him through LA in recent times?
I came to LA last weekend and the weekend before to go to my little Russian sauna that I always go to, and I heard that he was going to be in town, not in town, but I heard that he was going to be in the sauna. So I was waiting With my missus, who's a Muay Thai specialist now, so luckily he didn't come, and my missus couldn't get the hands on him.
So you still haven't come face to face as yet with Murtazaliev, but will you continue that chase in the lead up to this fight?
What's that?
Will you keep trying to find him, or are you happy to see him in fight week?
No more LA trips. That's it. I'm here in Vegas.
Now, this fight will take place in Orlando, Florida. I don't know if you realise, but your father had a fantastic time of it in Florida. He had what he describes as the greatest performance of his career against Miguel Angel Gonzalez. That took place in Miami, so not too far from Orlando. So the Tszyu family's got a good record over there.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm gonna continue it. That's the plan.
Tell us a little bit about what will happen between now and this fight, because Igor, your team has got back together now in Las Vegas. What will you be doing in preparation till you do get to Orlando?
Just gonna be grinding, man. Quite simple. Boxing's it's a simple sport. Just keep grinding. Couple bruises to the face, couple bruises to the body, all part of the plan. And then come fight night, we do the opposite and we cause damage.
And what will it mean to become a two-time world champion? After everything you went through against Sebastian Fundora, what do you think that this does for your legacy and your immediacy?
Just to be the shot caller. It's simple. Shot caller, king of the division, super fights, big fights to make, and then highest paid athlete as well. Let's put that in there as well. So all of those combined.
Yeah, no doubt all of that will come. And I know you want to be very busy as well. Is it right we should expect to see you, if all goes according to plan against Murtazaliev, again later this year? You want to fight twice from now till the end of the year?
Back-to-back, 2-time, put it all on. I'm ready.
All right, well, that is exciting. Any final words, Tim, for the people of Australia who are really excited? They now know where and when this fight will be taking place. They know they can watch it on the main event on a Sunday afternoon as well.
Yeah, again, thank you again to Australia for all your support. Mucho gracias, as we say here.
All right, thanks so much, Tim Tszyu. Enjoy the rest of your preparations, and we'll see you in Orlando.
Yeah, see you then.
So there you go, George. Your fighter, suitably excited, I think, about what's coming up.
Yeah, look, he contains his energy really well, I think, when it comes to these moments. But I know how excited he is to be fighting for a world title again. He loves to be in the ring. He doesn't care who he fights. He wants to be in the ring and fighting, and that's what we've done for him. Not only that, but he is fighting for the IBF world title. Super news for us and for all of Australia.
What are your thoughts on Murtazaliev? Because you like to take risks. You like to give yourself some...
I don't like to.
Some nerve. You continue to do it, but you're going in against an undefeated fighter here, a Russian who's been avoided by plenty. I'm sure you've sat down and watched a fair bit in recent weeks. What have you thought? Yeah,
look, I mean, you say that we take risks, but it's just in our nature, isn't it? We love to challenge ourselves, and I think as Australians we want to be at the top of the tree, and I think. Tim Tszyu is the guy that is the best in the division. I absolutely believe he beats everyone in the division, and Murtazaliev is just another name on that list that he'll make his way to the top with. But very tough fighter. This is the thing, is that not a lot of people have seen a lot about Murtazaliev, but he is a great fighter. He's a world champion. That doesn't happen by chance. That doesn't happen easy. It's a very tough fight. And one thing that we do have to all remember is that while we all believe that Tim beats everyone in the world, we do have to remember that this is a really hard fight. It's a fight that there's probably that much difference in, and Tim's putting it all on the line. It's a huge risk, but it's a huge reward at the end of it. You know, he gets his belt, he gets the option to fight all of these other champions that are out there, because this is the division that you want to be in right now. The fights that sit on the back of this one. For us, obviously, we look ahead and love to plan these out, but a win here, it just opens them doors up again to the world.
And clearly we're very excited about what's taking place in this event, but is it correct that if Tim Tszyu wins his world title here, or this world title, he's out again before the end of the year?
You know what he's like? He's always been like that. Get me back in the ring. His first thing is always, get me back in the ring. You know, he knocked the compo out really quick. Get me back in the ring. He had a tough fight with Mendoza. Get me back in the ring. He always wants to be fighting. So if everything goes to plan, everything goes well here, Tszyu will be back very, very soon.
So that is Tszyu. That's the big news about what is happening with him. Well, last night, I'm sure, George, you were watching all the action on main events as Inoue, he won or retained all of his belts against TJ Doheny, an Irish-Australian. He looked devastating as always. TJ was very, very good in this fight, but it would appear that we've inched closer to that fight between your guy, Sam Goodman, and this man, the Monster. Is that your understanding? That's what's next?
Yeah, look, that's what we're working on right now. We're working on that 100%. Sam Goodman, I know that he tuned in closely on this fight, having already dominated TJ Doheny himself in a previous fight. So I think this was a great fight for Sam to be able to watch and prepare to get his shot at the Monster. And we're putting absolutely everything into that at the moment, and in discussions with Mr. Honda and Inoue's team over there. And we'd love to see Sam take that next fight and get his shot.
Well, let's have a chat with Sam because he has joined us as well. Sam Goodman, Mr. Mandatory. I'm sure that you were watching with a great deal of interest as Inoue retained his titles against TJ Doheny last night. Tell us your thoughts on the performance, first of all.
Look, I thought he was very, very good. He was very clinical, very classy, and it was a typical Inoue performance. I thought. TJ had little moments and he was good in stages, but I thought, eventually Inoue worked him out and done what he needed to do.
Did you take something out of what TJ was able to do in some of those rounds where maybe he won them, maybe he at least had very good rounds, but he seemed to give a tricky target to the Monster, which maybe he hasn't seen before. Do you take something out of that?
Look, I'm a different fighter to TJ, and I'll implement my ways to win that fight. But look, he is tricky to work out. TJ, he's a formidable opponent. He's been a world champion, and he's tricky to work out. And I think it showed, especially early on in the fight, and he was struggling to work him out a little bit. But I think he found the body and got to him in the end. So. But look, I'm a totally different fighter. I'm a lot younger. I'm a lot bigger again than TJ. So. Look, I think I present a big challenge to Inoue, and look, I'm backing myself 100% to get this done. I don't need anyone to tell me if I can do it or can't do it. I'm not listening to all the naysayers. I'm ready, and I'm ready for my shot.
So your expectation is that you're spending Christmas and potentially with all those belts in Japan?
Absolutely. So, look, I'm looking forward to, capturing those belts in Japan and bringing them back home to Australia. It's a perfect Christmas present for me, and that's all I'll need. But, look, at the moment, it's about putting in the work and the boys getting the deal done to get this fight over the line. All
right. Thank you so much, Sam Goodman. I'm sure this man, George Rose, will have news for you very, very shortly. So we'll let him drive off to wherever he's headed. But no doubt training hard ahead of what is going to be a monster fight potentially just before Christmas. George Rose, thanks so much for joining us. A lot going on for No Limit just at the moment. Gee, it's exciting times though.
Very exciting times for Australian boxing. We've got champions here putting everything on the line and putting the country on the map globally.
And congratulations on the purse bid as well with Janibek and Mikhailovic. It's all happening at the moment for No Limit Boxing. It's all happening as well on Fox Sports, KO and on Main Event. I'm Ben Damon. I'll see you at the fights.